In this game, actions can have consequences, which we've seen more than once this season. One player's actions from the previous episode ends up with their banishment becoming the consequence. As the players were one by one walking into breakfast, I was trying to work out who had the real shields and who had the cursed one. We knew Hollywood gave his shield to Dom, but things weren't so clear on anything else despite what seemed to be a clear suggestion involving Charla, Coco, Sarah Nicole and Venus to swap theirs with each other. At one point I paused the episode as I was a bit confused. Luckily I didn't have to wait too long as we were shown how it all went down with the cursed shield. Despite not wanting to do a murder in plain sight, Coco ended up passing the cursed shield to Natalie. To think Natalie was thankful to Coco for saving her in the game, but it ended up being the opposite.
I really like Natalie and I had to use her trust to murder her.
Due to Venus's behaviour the previous night, Charla and Meredith think Venus is a traitor, though they didn't sound ready to bring it up with the others yet. Even Lizette was starting to think it's Venus, but Hollywood was thinking the opposite. While discussing with Dom and Lizette about those that stayed inside discussing where the shield was going, Hollywood thinks Venus giving the shield to Dom takes her out of the equation. That would leave Charla, Coco, Sarah Nicole and Jamal, as he was still inside with Natalie, as possible suspected traitors. As she was feeling the heat, Venus was using the shield swap discussions to divert attention away from her onto Charla. Talk about the shields would end up being a recurring point of discussion, whether it was questioning Venus's choice to give her shield to Dom instead of Sarah Nicole, or Charla's shield swap suggestion. Jamal was the only one who thought Venus's plan was a great idea. It was brought up that Sarah Nicole keeps saying that she had a conversation with the eliminated player before they left, but Sarah Nicole won't share the names those players told her. From the outside it would seem a bit suspicious to keep saying that, especially as traitors have actually played that card and some have crashed out on that mistake. Sarah Nicole did later tell Meredith that she was one of the names those now eliminated players mentioned.
Love her to death, but every time she comes here we're either gonna die or have to work our asses off for something, so come on.
Karine appeared at the manor and got the players to decide on the 3 players with the most influence on the rest of the group. Dom, Hollywood and Cara were chosen and they followed Karine, while the others wondered where they were being taken off to. I was surprised Dom was picked, but I guess Sarah Nicole might have offered his name up on purpose so her name wouldn't be said instead. As I was watching Charla and Meredith's conversation in the car, I was trying to think of how many players who went in with an unknown pre-existing relationship ended up winning. I can only think of a couple where it was known, but from the ones I've watched, the secret ones haven't fared well, whether it was later disclosed or not. There's a real possibility of this happening with them. They just got to get past the small issue of Meredith being one of the heavily suspected players and the previous doubts of Charla. As the players drove up to the mission, they saw the chosen 3 attached to ropes while suspended up in the air. For this mission, we were getting a life-sized version of Hangman that came with a delicious twist. If one of them drops low enough, they will be gagged at the round table. Canada, you really do like to change things up. I haven't seen this happen before, though some players are shown to be mute at the round table without it being a punishment. On the other side of the coin, any solved words would result in that player winning the shield. Not sure why they didn't go for the letter E at the first attempt, seeing that if the words were traitor related like seduction and betrayal, which were both mentioned, they have at least one E in both words. I actually found this mission fun because I could play along. I'd figured out Hollywood and Dom's words when they went for O, but I wasn't clear what Cara's word was. At this point I wondered if they even knew any of the words. Once N was picked, I finally realised what Cara's word was. Once they figured out what letters they needed to pick to solve the words, it dawned on them that they wouldn't be able to finish guessing them all. Not sure why Meredith was pushing so hard for them to solve Cara's word when her remaining letters were not in either Dom or Hollywood's words. The best route, which Venus was trying to explain, was to go for the letters in Dom and Hollywood's words, which would guarantee saving them both. Cara ended up gagged, while Dom and Hollywood won the shield. With a little rounding up by Karine, they ended up adding $6,700 to the prize pot. I was wondering what went on in Hollywood's mind since the morning, as he was now considering Venus as a traitor. He must have had a lot of time to think while he was suspended in the air, waiting for the mission to start. It's so funny that Venus's grown friendship with Dom was being brought up by the actual couple, Charlo and Meredith. It was made clear very quickly that the votes were going to be between Meredith and Venus, and that's how it played out. With 4 votes each for Meredith and Venus, we got a tie break. If the revotes were the same as the first vote, then it would end up being another tie. Would someone flip? Or would we find out if Canada would choose a different resolution by doing something that wasn't a banishment by chance? The first player's revote stunned me. Like Meredith, I was shocked Lizette changed her vote from Meredith to Venus. I actually mirrored Meredith with my mouth open in surprise. I got another surprise when, with the penultimate revote, Coco had also switched from Meredith to Venus. As everyone else kept their same vote, Venus was banished. Who would have thought Coco would make it this far? Coco's done so well to get to this point, given that Kevin tried to throw her under the bus. She has navigated this game so well that she has a chance of winning if she's in the final with the right people. In my video on the last episode, I did wonder if Venus's weird behaviour would end up being her downfall, and it was. Dom was visibly upset after Venus's reveal. Let's see if Dom can break the pattern of the closest faithful to the banished traitor being banished next. Though, there may be a decision that can change things. Coco now has the task of blackmailing a faithful. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't offer Sarah Nicole the chance to be a traitor. She needs to be eliminated in order for Coco to win. Sarah Nicole didn't end up being her choice to blackmail, so at least Coco sees the danger. Coco instead chose to blackmail Dom. Unlike other blackmails, if Dom refuses, he could stay in the game as he has a shield. It'll be interesting to see what choice Dom makes. The last time I checked, it looked like they're planning to air both episode 9 and 10 next week instead of showing episode 10 during Christmas week. I can't wait to see how this all plays out on what has been an enjoyable season. Will the Faithfuls win, or will Coco or another traitor take the cash to make it 3-0 to the Traitors?